Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age. Sorry, my dog just turned around and is looking at me quizzically while I'm talking. So we were going deeper into the temple, which is what we're about to do right now. Let's head on in.
Maker's breath. Look at it all.
The Urn of Sacred Ashes, this quest actually appears in the trailer for the game, as I mentioned before. With Sten looking a bit more like... basically the characters that I have in the game, they look a lot more like they do in that trailer. Whereas they... go. So all them dead. The actual dungeon itself is actually really large. One of the largest in the game. I think it is actually the largest in the game. Yeah, I think we have to go down here first. Yes, we do. Again, I think one of the reasons why this dungeon seems so long is that if you do it all in one go, I think they added Bronto in here, like Rhino in here for no reason. If you do it all in one go, like the start of Haven and everything, it would take a long time to get to this stage, to get through it as well.
I'll get on it.
Got him down as well. Got them all.
Got it. Now is better than later.
Well, the Scroll of Banistors I've never actually done. You know, it's just a lore quest, really. I don't think you actually get any sort of tangible reward for it, which is not great. But it is what it is. Tell you what, mate, you can do for me.
I'll get on it.
Sit down for me.
Now is better than later.
Yep. Like, the mages in this part of the game really annoy me.
I'll get on it.
Misdirection hex is extremely annoying. Like, I mean, seriously annoying. And this is the thing. Even though the game is easy when you put it on easy, your party, which shows you how hard the game is normally, your party, without you, fall to bits. I mean, look at them now. I mean, you can set tactics that they heal themselves, but... Wait on. bet he does it again. They tried to. Christ almighty, another few.
Only desperation!
Weirdly, that is actually one of the hardest fights in the game.
Better than later.
In a weird way, again, it's actually harder than Flemeth later on, and different dragons like that. I find it that way anyway, because it just keeps throwing things at you, but it does it in a staggered way. So it doesn't just do it all in once, where you just all oh, okay, let's do this fight now. It's more, here are some mildly tough enemies. Here are some more mildly tough enemies. Here are some more mildly tough enemies. Until finally you're on your knees on the floor.
Got it.
Chasing the meat. Ornate chest. Canary sword, red steel.
Warden.
I think that's better than what you've got now, isn't it? Canary sword, red steel. Yeah, it is. But you need 32 strength. One thing about Sten when you get him, he is woefully underpowered for what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a big Kunari guy. He's woefully underpowered for what he's supposed to be. One thing I do like about the Urn of Sacred Ashes is that it's a classic dungeon. You know, it's
Now's better than later.
you got to go. There's a room that's locked, so you got to go back to a bunch of other rooms to get through this into this one room that's locked. You know, it's pretty cool. Quite like it that way. The Armour of Diligence is pretty good as well. I wouldn't say it's one of the best in the game, but it's very good for this level. That we just picked up.
No mercy.
Is him gone? What was all that about? What was happening there? You. And you as well.
That's
Oh, for God's sake, if I'm not going to get to do it, then... God, these are annoying. Minika Sten's got next and again, he's not very powerful. Then again, now they've closed the distance. You should be okay.
Another vanquished.
God's sake, Sten, come on. Well done, Sten. That was annoying, because as you saw, everyone went down in just a few seconds there. So, wasn't the best. As I say, the enemies aren't that tough on their own, but it's when it starts throwing them at you in waves, and then a few of those enemies have really nasty surprises. Like, I think we were both hit with a hex there that drained your health over time. And 2 of us were hit with that. And not only does it do that, but it mobilises you as well, which is really crappy. But, the other thing as well is that you get into the room and both of these lock and we don't have a rogue. I mean, it's a bit harsh. And we've gone all that way to open these doors and then we can't actually get into the room.
Old books. You think any of those might still be readable?
Maybe a few. Another scroll of Bannister. Very nice, very nice. Oh, there's another one down here. Ancient Cryptid Scrolls. Now they are good to have. They're worth quite a lot of money.
Got it. I see enemies ahead.
Okay. I hate that misdirection hex. I really do. I really hate it. See how you do with your fucking misdirection hex. There you go. Take one of them. Pretty tough. Shouldn't have gone forward that quickly. There's a trap down there that I saw, so screw that.
Now, better than later. Got it.
Come on, heal. Go. Oh, just a few. That's nice. Now, funny enough, the way that this map works, you go one of two ways, and you can actually avoid one of the halves of the actual place, of the actual dungeon, the first half of the probably want to just rest up here for a minute. Okay, we don't touch these chests because they're full of demons. Now, normally I wouldn't do that because it's kind of like metagaming, but at the same time, you know, like, I don't know, I just don't feel like fighting them. To be honest with you. But I am a ball player in that, you know, even when I'm playing Fallout 4, for instance, I won't pick up any caps or bobby pins for the first few hours of the game because my character wouldn't know that what they're for. You know, he wouldn't know their currency and things. So, you know, even though sometimes I do err on the side of, oh, can't be bothered, it doesn't mean I'm not
I'll get on it. Now you die!
see you later. I think we're nearly there, yeah. We're in the Wormling Lair. So the Wormling Lair is the second part of the dungeon, which went through the first part there. The second part is the under the mountain part of the dungeon, so very interesting. Very this is where it gets really tough. So demons, and then eventually drakes. And drakes are extremely horrible.
Got it.
Run while you can.
I'm not giving up.
Ooh, Sten's leveled up. That means we can get more strength. Boom. We needed 32 strength with him. We really, really need 32 strength with him. Very good. In fact, can't you have that weapon now? 13, 13, 20, 15, 40. Have that. What weapon do I have? 11. 13, 20, 13. Let's have the steel great sword then. It's technically better than what we had, unfortunately. And the grey warden one was better. Yeah, you try cast that misdirection hex from the grave, mate. That's where you can do it from.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
This guy.
Wipe down. Tear them apart.
Fallout New Vegas, in front of that question, I just want to chat. Fallout New Vegas will be coming this weekend, I hope. We'll be doing the first session this weekend.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my
So dragons in Dragon Age, they've just started coming back into the world, past 50 years or so, in the setting. Females are bigger, and the classic big dragons that you see are females, and the smaller dragons that you see, as in the ones without wings, are drakes. They are males. Yeah, that's basically how that works. It's a very matriarchal society, dragons. Another thing is they're not intelligent. They are beasts. I'm not sure whether the old gods used to be intelligent, but we don't really know whether they were even gods. And dragons in this setting have 2 legs, 2 forelegs, 2 hind legs. The actual dragons. I know that it's a meme at the moment, but people being really stupid about saying this about being the things in Skyrim aren't dragons, they're wyverns. Technically that's true, yes. Sorry, the worms. Technically that's true, yes, because they don't have forearms, they've just got wings. Whereas dragons in this game are dragons. The dragon has 2 forearms, two back legs, and wings. So they are actually dragons. I'm right on cue.
It's your time to shine.
Sorry about that. Back with you now. I'm actually minding the dogs tonight, so if I do disappear verbally for 2 seconds, that's probably why. Okay, this is actually one of the harder fights. A lot of them are in. I'm gonna take that Fuck, he got that again. You wait till I don't have this hex anymore. You just fucking wait till I don't have this hex. I'm gonna fucking slaughter you. Still not. It lasts for too long. I swear. It's very overpowered like that. He's about to do it again as well. He's done it again. Fuck. What the hell? Sorry guys, this is something I've got to do. Do you mind just going over there and not attacking him at all? That'd be great. That'd be phenomenal, thanks. This is something I've been to do. Shit. Oh fuck.
Your drooling saves the biggest fool.
Can I get you a ladder?
Another corpse for the pile.
I'll get on it.
That was annoying, to say the very least.
Got it.
I never noticed misdirect annoying me that much before. But, obviously, I must have just got lucky. We're going to level up pretty soon now, which is nice. Just stay here now. Then you're probably going to have to take some medicine there, my dude. Okay, maybe not. Oh, will you piss off with that? It's doing it to both of us. I don't know. I think that's a bug, you know. I'm not sure they're supposed to do that. I'm really not sure it's supposed to do that. Get both of us at once. Play it that way, that's fine. Will you just fucking take that? Do that. I got the misdirection hex again. I have. That is complete. Doesn't seem to get any way you can dispel it, which is really. Now, don't you think you're going down there? Oh, whoa. Come forward, have we? Come forward, have we? It's getting a bit too big for the...
Now.
Take it.
Again.
Now's better than later.
We're okay, aren't we? God. See, if we'd have run into this room there, we'd have been absolutely poleaxed, which is why I was just hanging back on the edge a little bit.
Your word.
That's it. We're almost where we need to be. Almost. A little bit longer to go.
Got it.
Alright. Okay, I think we missed the ways, I think. Not too sure. Should have done that. Game. This is one thing that really annoys me. Finding, and now I'm knocked back, and now everyone's going to die. That's one thing that really gets up my fucking nose with this. It really is, because pathfinding fucked up. I tried to get around the pathfinding, and now I'm not entirely fair. I'm sure you would agree. Bullshit. Bullshit is what I would say to that. Complete codswallop. I'm going to lose about 10 minutes of progress to that as well. That is the kind of thing which people do not miss in games like this, unfortunately. It still happens today, though. The only game in which I've not really seen it happen is something like Pillars of Eternity. Come on, Alistair, do a bit more. Oh, he's yeah, it's just going to pile on all of these little things. It's going to kill everybody. Yeah, fuck off, game. All through one bug that happened. And we've got to do all this again. Fuck's sake. It's not recording, you know. I really am not at the moment. It would be bullshit. Do not want to be bullshitted. Right, there you go. And the hex stays, apparently. That's very nice. Going a lot easier. Because we've managed to take them on one by one instead of being ganged all at once. Right, so he's got the misdirection hex now, which means one of our main damage dealers doesn't.
Now it's better than later.
That was a lot easier second time round.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, as you saw, I hope that doesn't happen again with the pathfinding issue, because that costs us the actual. That's how close these things can be. It costs us the actual battle. That just complete pathfinding misnomer. Not spazzing around. And to be honest with you, it is. The ring gets up your nose so much as that should be. That really should be something that's not in the game. You know, it shouldn't be in it. It's such an ancient game, I know, but it still should not be in it. Even on release back in the day, it should have been in the game. That. Just walk around the pillar, or just attack where you are. There's no need to start. Just wait for him to come over here. That's it.
Right.
One less.
I'll get on it.
No. Stay here. Okay, no.
I'll get on it.
Or Alistair, you know, you could just go up there on your own. I mean, that also works if that's what you want to do.
So be it. Better than late. Now, strength is failing.
I'm gonna level with you. I've never found dungeons to be very good. Generally, if I do a role-playing campaign, like the dungeons are very short, and they all mean something. If you know what I mean. So there won't be like, oh, you know, here's a dungeon, it's epic, and you're gonna be there for hours and hours and hours. It's not like that. I normally do, you know, single dungeon. It'll have a meaning to it. You know, oh shit, I know where this is. There we go. Right, first things bloody first.
How's
These are the drakes I was talking about. Right, smash everything.
there's no chance.
Smash everything. There we go, there's one. Because these things can kill you.
Get on the base. Alright, that's it.
Like that.
Begin the onslaught.
Like once, when I was playing this game, when I was playing
All right.
Origins, they came in and did that to 3 of our party straight away. This looks like they've been feeding the dragons. That's what we need to come here for, though. But yeah, I did come in here once, and all 3 of them did the overwhelm attack straight away and killed 3 of my party, which was fun. But generally, once you know pretty much what you're coming into, you can sort of plan ahead. And again, it's not that difficult a game if you know what you're doing. Obviously, as I just proved before, I don't. But I still think it's pretty harsh the way you know, a single bullet and you're done, sort of thing.
I believe we are headed up towards the surface of the mountains.
In that case, we don't want to go that way, we want to go this way first. There's quite a good weapon down here, if I remember correctly. Oh no. Oh yeah, it was down here. It was, right. Sten, no. Damn it. God damn it, Leroy.
You're in a little over your head.
I'll learn from that one, eh? I'm gonna go on this one. Piss off doing that.
Never have been.
Very nice. More magic for us. I think 46 is more than enough strength for now.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
One thing I will say for your player character is they do become the most powerful character out of your party by a million miles. Like, there's no one
Can I get you a ladder so you can
in
get
your
off my
party
back?
that can really stand up to
Got
you.
it.
Ah, we don't want to go that way yet, actually. There's another place we've got to go to, just before we get to that bit. So, I mean, it's very confusing the way that this temple part is laid out. And the bad thing is, when you're finished doing what you need to do in the other half of the temple, you've got to run all the way back. You've got to do all this all over again. Now, that is a game design flaw that... Yeah, I think it's mostly to do with, you know, the way that BioWare and companies like that like to do their games. Very quote-unquote realistic.
All right.
Me and realism, in terms of games, have a rocky relationship. Like games like Elite Dangerous and things like that, where they say, oh, you know, they seem really overly pompous, and everything is extremely difficult to do. And they say, oh, well, it's realism. Well, I'm sorry, but no, your game's about a spaceship. I mean, a spaceship that can travel to distant galaxies, that can travel to distant star systems, that's not realistic, you know. It's supposed to be a game. And same with this as well. It's like, you know, oh no, of course you have to walk all the way back. You can't just teleport. What do you think this is? This is a video game? Yes, exactly. You know, this is a very hard fight, from what I remember. From what I remember, this is quite difficult. So, anything want to come and fight us? Yep, these two. That's fine. In you come, lads. In you come. Right, kill them.
Now we go.
It is done.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's drapes now, isn't it? Yeah, there is. Of course there is. Oh, for God's sake. We'll just do this. You, Stan, will take one of your little potions. Go. Ignore the Drake. The Dragonling. Actually, actually survived the overwhelm, I'm really surprised by. Then again, we did just heal him up to full health just before that, so that made reason to do it.
I'll get on it. Just call me the Reaper.
Nice. Spellweaver, that's the sword he had. I think it can only be used in Arcane Warriors, and you can't actually become an Arcane Warrior until you go to the Dalish Forest. That's another thing about game design that I don't really like. You know, there's a whole section of the game in terms of a class that you can be that you can't do unless you go to a certain part of the game first. And naturally, you don't. Naturally, you go to you know, the Dalish Forest much later in the game. You know, that's quite natural. But to be an Arcane Warrior, that's where you've got to go. So if you wanted to do like a mage who could fight a little bit, you know, you could go 3/4 of the game, and then, you know, just about then hear about a whole class that you could do, that you could have been doing this entire time, but you haven't. At least now it's a nice easy run up to where we actually need to go. So one day I'll do a mage warrior run on this. And then you go to the Dalish Forest pretty quickly, but not this time. I love Royce too much.
Stop! You will go no further!
We'll stand aside if you want to live.
The righteous do not fear death. You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young. No more. You will tell me now, intruder, why you have done all this. Why have you come here?
Tell me your name and I'll tell you why I'm here.
I am Father Colgrim, leader and guide to the disciples of Andraste. Kill us, and you will face Andraste. She will smell our blood, and the blood of her children on you, and her wrath will be great.
Children? You mean the dragons? Is Andraste a dragon?
She is so much more! She is even more glorious than all the old gods combined. The prophet Andraste has overcome death itself, and has returned to her faithful in a form more radiant than you can imagine. Not even the Tevinter Imperium could hope to slay her now. What hope do you have?
I wish to see this risen Andraste.
None but the disciples may approach Andraste. She is not ready yet. But when the time is right, she will descend upon the nations in fiery splendor, and all will know her. But perhaps there is a way to make up for your recent transgressions.
Why do you suddenly want to cooperate with me?
It may be because I believe in second chances. All of us stumble through the darkness before being found and shown the light. Perhaps, through Andraste's mercy, her greatest enemy will become her greatest champion.
Just say what you have to say.
Atop this mountain lie the remains of the mortal Andraste. The urn is watched by an immortal guardian. He is trapped in the past and refuses to accept the risen Andraste. Now the ashes prevent holy Andraste from fully realizing her new form. They are a remnant of her past incarnation, and she cannot move on as long as they exist.
So what? You want to toss them out a window?
I speak not of destruction. The beloved needs to reclaim the ashes, to make them her own again. All it would take is a drop of her blood. Blood carries power, strength, knowledge. Through it, all the power that is held in the ashes will be returned to Our Lady.
Why have you not done this then?
The Guardian has foiled all our attempts to reach the urn. He keeps what power remains from the true Andraste. He knows the disciples, and we cannot touch him, for he draws his strength from the ashes themselves. But you could deliver Our Lady what is rightfully hers.
I could just imagine the Grand Cleric if she were here. Her head would explode, I kid you not.
The rewards for performing such a service would be great indeed.
And won't the Guardian know me as well?
No, he waits for pilgrims to come venerate the urn. He will assume that you are one of these. The task is simple. I give you a vial of the Holy Andraste's blood, and you empty the vial into the ashes. Whatever magic was held in the ashes will be undone, and our great lady will be freed from the shackles of her past life!
I don't know if I like the idea of us helping this Colgrim.
And
Sorry?
what? Encourage the worship of a large lizard? Consider your actions carefully.
You seem to forget I'm the one who makes the decisions.
Take this. The blood of the dragon. You know what you must do.
If we succeed, Colgrim and his fellows will be indebted to you. That puts you in a very advantageous position.
Ooh, bad idea. Remember the last time you had to drink blood? Only worse.
It's gonna be alright, I know what I'm doing.
I'm just going to assume you have something amazing and tricky up your sleeve.
Now, I shall beseech the Holy Andraste to let you pass safely into the inner sanctum.
Okay. One second, guys. Cool, there we go, sorry about that. Just looking something up about the game. Let's continue. Love how you can see the sulfur here as well, that sulfur
Be
oil.
cautious. A dragon such as this is better to avoid than engage.
There it is. There's drakes here too, and they seem to be under the, not control, but they seem to like these guys.
Great Andraste, I pray you, stay your wrath. bring before you your champion, who will fall upon your enemies as a cleansing flame, paving the way for your glory. Beloved Andraste, oh holy Andraste, we praise your name. I have spoken to the beloved Andraste. She will let you pass.
Good. Time for you to die.
You would betray the disciples? Andraste herself will feast on your flesh! Go!
I have to admit, the first time I did this, I thought that dragon was going to come down and, like, just
Let's finish.
annihilate us, but it doesn't.
Do yourself,
There we go. Guys, stop doing that. I swear to God, if he does that one more fucking time. Very careful here. Very, very careful. You pretty much got to nurse them through the entire thing. Throw Winter's Grasp. Go. That's a nice cone of cold. That's a nice cone of cold. Well done. Gonna kill him quite easily, I think. Yep. Here's the main threat dealt with. Colgrim is Colgrim's gone down, but it's not a huge loss at this point. Game. Yeah, please do what I told you to do. I know you've been stunned, but that's a bit of a dick move, to be honest with you. Bit of a dick move. Yeah, Stan, if you don't do what you told, mate, you're gonna die.
My strength is failing. Push them back. A bit more dying, please. Excellent. I think we work well together.
I think so too. The dragon is up there, and if you use Colgrim's horn that he has on him, you can call it down to fight you, which we don't want to do right now because it's way over leveled.
All right.
I mean, it's even better than Flemeth when you finally can face her. It's even better than that. So.
Let us go.
Alright, here's the temple. So this mountaintop gets destroyed in Dragon Age Inquisition at the very start. But we'll get to that. We will get to that. It might take me a month, but we will get there.
bid you welcome, pilgrim.
You must be the Guardian.
Yes, I am the Guardian of the Ashes. I have waited years for this.
Why have you been here for so long?
It has been my duty, my life, to protect the urn and prepare the way for the faithful who come to revere Andraste. For years beyond counting have I been here, and shall I remain until my task is done and the Imperium has crumbled into the sea.
Well, the Imperium is no longer as powerful as it once was.
Ah, is it not? Then perhaps this is the beginning of the end.
Who are the men who have taken over the rest of the temple?
When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory and guard her. I have watched generations of my brethren take up the mantle of their fathers. For centuries they did this, unwavering, joyful in their appointed task. But now they have lost their way. They have forgotten Andraste and their promise.
So the dragon is not Andraste then?
No. Our Andraste has gone to the Maker's side. She will not return. The dragon is a fearsome creature, and they must have seen her as an alternative to the absent Maker and his silent Andraste. A true believer would not require audacious displays of power.
How did the belief spread to the rest of the disciples?
It began with an ancestor of the one known as Colgrim. He saw himself as a new prophet, preaching the rebirth. Some disagreed with him. I heard their cries of pain and loss, which were quickly silenced.
Would you like me to get rid of the disciples?
The Maker will sit in judgment of them when the time comes.
I'd like to see the urn.
You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy.
So I have to fight you?
It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The Gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not...
Alright. Let's get this over with then.
Before you go, there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is suffering in your past. Your suffering, and the suffering of others. You abandoned your father and mother, leaving them in the hands of Rendon Howe, knowing he would show no mercy. Do you think you failed your parents?
One thing Royce doesn't do is lie to himself and about his family. You know, he's very truthful. You know? So he's going to say, yes, I failed them. I should have defended them to the death.
Thank you. That is all I wish to know.
You are too hard on yourself. No one's perfect.
Is there any religion that does not thrive upon guilt, like a glutton at his lunch? No, I thought not.
Arshera, leave the past where it falls.
And what of those that follow you? Alistair, Knight, and Warden. You wonder if things would have been different if you were with Duncan on the battlefield. You could have shielded him from the killing blow. You wonder, don't you, if you should have died and not him?
Yes. If Duncan had been saved, and not me, everything would be better. If I just had the chance, maybe I...
Demand whatever answers you want, Spirit.
You came to this land as an observer, but you killed a family in a blind rage. Have you failed your people by allowing a Qunari to be seen in that light?
I have never denied that I failed.
And you, Morrigan, Flemeth's daughter, what?
Begone, spirit. I will not play your games.
I will respect your wishes. The way is open. Good luck, and may you find what you seek.
Now, Morrigan's not just being taciturn there, and being brusque. She's doing that for a very good reason that we'll find out later on in the game, because he was about to ask her, because he can see, you know, deep into people. He was about to ask her some very awkward questions. These are all riddles that we're going to have to solve. Let's see if I can remember them all.
Echoes from a shadow realm, whispers of things yet to come. Thought's strange sister dwells in night, is swept away by dawning light. Of what do I speak?
Dreams.
A dream came upon me as my daughter slumbered beneath my heart. It told of her life, and of her betrayal and death. I am sorrow and regret. I am a mother weeping bitter tears for a daughter she could not save.
The smallest lark could carry it, while a strong man might not. Of what do I speak?
A tune?
Yes, I was Andraste's dearest friend in childhood, and always we would sing. She celebrated the beauty of life, and all who heard her would be filled with joy. They say the Maker himself was moved by Andraste's song, and then she sang no more of simple things.
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak?
Home.
It was my dream for the people to have a home of their own, where we would have no masters but ourselves. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we followed Andraste against the Imperium. But she was betrayed, and so were we.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The debt of blood must be paid in full. Of what do I speak?
Vengeance.
Yes, my husband Hissarion would have chosen a quick death for Andraste. I made him swear that she would die publicly with her war leaders, that all would know the Imperium's strength. I am justice. I am vengeance. Blood can only be repaid in blood.
A poison of the soul, passion's cruel counterpart. From love she grows, till love lies slain. Of what do I speak?
Jealousy.
Yes, jealousy drove me to betrayal. I was the greatest general of the Alamari, but beside her I was nothing. Hundreds fell before her on bended knee. They loved her, as did the Maker. I loved her too. But what man can compare with a god?
The bones of the world stretch towards the sky's embrace, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom. Of what do I speak?
The mountains.
Yes. I carried Andraste's ashes out of Tevinter into the mountains to the east, where she could gaze ever into her Maker's sky. No more fitting a tomb than this could we find.
she wields the broken sword and separates true kings from tyrants. Of what do I speak?
Mercy.
Yes, I could not bear the sight of Andraste's suffering, and Mercy bade me end her life. I am the penitent sinner, who shows compassion as he hopes compassion will be shown to him.
No man has seen it, but all men know it. Lighter than air, sharper than any sword. Comes from nothing, but will fell the strongest armies. Of what do I speak?
Hunger.
Yes. Hunger was the weapon used against the wicked men of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker kindled the sun's flame, scorching the land. Their crops failed, and their armies could not march. Then he opened the heavens and bade the waters flow, and washed away their filth. I am Cather, disciple of Andraste and commander of her armies. I saw these things done, and knew the Makers smiled on us.
My dearest child.
I wish it were not so, but I know you're dead.
You know that I am gone, and all your prayers and wishes will not bring me back. No more must you grieve, my boy. Take the pain and the guilt, acknowledge it, and let go. It is time. You have such a long road ahead of you, and you must be prepared. And so I leave this in your hands. I know you will do great things with it.
And that's the moment, right there, where a lot of burdens lifted off Royce's shoulders, where he goes to become the hero he's supposed to be. Right there. This can actually be quite tough, this next bit, because you're fighting yourself.
I see enemies ahead.
It's fine to me, there I am. You did that.
Another battle!
You will not win!
It's your time to die! Another battle, I
That's a lot of blood.
Shows how powerful Royce is right now. He was taking on Alistair's shadow and his own and still won.
Uh-oh. I'm terrible at puzzles.
Now this...
Hey, you see those thingies over on the side of that huge chasm? I bet they're used for something. Maybe I should touch them or stand on them?
This is what I call a BioWare puzzle. BioWare are shocking at puzzles. They are terrible at them. That's because the puzzles are either stupidly easy or mind-bogglingly, mind-numbingly hard, to the point where you literally, there's hardly any point in doing them without a cheat. So, this is one of those. So... see if I remember how to do it.
Warden.
Right there. We can get all the bits pieces solid, we can make it across.
Cool, I can't get there yet though, mate. No, it's not gonna work, is it? You come here. Haha! That's worked. Like that, okay. one from the end.
Let's go.
I think that's done it. I want to say. Thank God for that. Okay.
By the Maker. It's the Urn of Sacred Ashes. That's it. That's really it.
This altar is little more than a dusty stone slab, but you can make out an inscription carved into its face. Cast off the trappings of worldly life and cloak yourself in the goodness of spirit. King and slave, lord and beggar, be born anew in the Maker's sight. Remove equipment. Okay, we're all naked.
You have been through the trials of the Gauntlet. You have walked the path of Andraste, and like her, you have been cleansed. You have proven yourself worthy, pilgrim. Approach the sacred ashes.
Anyone could succeed in finding Andraste's final resting place. But here she is.
I stand in awe. Really?
Congratulations. You found a waste bin.
He's not being facetious there. Qunari don't believe in Qunari don't believe that bodies have any sort of soul or anything like that, or you know, it's not the person anymore. So we'll take a picture of the ashes. Why not? Leave it alone. There's the dragon again. Sod off. And now begins the long trek back that I was talking about. So it's a good opportunity to talk about this quest in general. It really does flesh out the Chantry beliefs and things like that as you're going through it. I really do enjoy that part of it. There are certain parts I don't quite enjoy. You know, like the mobs in this area tend to. I love how these guys don't attack you either. The mobs in this area, they tend to just throw on you at the worst possible time all the time. You know, and at higher difficulty levels, this place can be a real chore to go through. And normally I either play this on normal or hard, as I mentioned in the first session. And it can be an absolute chore. The lore inside is vital to understanding, you know, just why.
I see enemies ahead.
Why is our dude here? Why is he?
Too easy.
He on his own. Yeah, so it can be unnecessarily hard, like coming through here. The other part that I don't like is potentially, and this is a problem with all Dragon Age Origins, the dungeons can be vast and very tiring to go through. You know, you can start thinking, oh god, you know, just get me to the end of this, you know. But I think the fact that for the time they were fantastic, and also like the story beats that you get from the way that the story pans out in this is so worth it. It is so worth it to go through these big vast dungeons, and you feel like your heroes really earned the title of hero for Elden, the warden. Are we meant to be in here? Yes, we are. This way, out through the front, I think. We'll go this way, since this is the place or the way we cleared out before. See? That's what I was saying before. So we shouldn't have to fight anything now. Yeah. Yeah, everything's dead, Dave. If we'd have gone the other way, we'd have had to fight all the way back out again, which is a real pain in the backside once you've finished the quest. But now I don't have to do that. You do get XP for it, but to be honest with you, I'm not in any huge need for XP right now. It doesn't seem that big at all when the combat's taken away, does it? We're already back at the start, you know? It took us an hour and a half to get through this. And, yeah. And Genitivi should be down here somewhere. There he is.
Welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? There's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Oh, Maker. I'm not worthy to look upon. What was it like? Coming to the urn, I mean.
It was just a stone flask with the burnt woman inside.
It may be that to you, but means so much more to thousands of people. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn.
That's not wise. Many will try to exploit this discovery.
But the urn belongs to all the faithful. How can you deny this to them? No, we must share it.
So everyone comes by and takes some ashes from the urn. Ooh, I hope that urn is self-replenishing.
Deny them a corpse? Unthinkable indeed.
Yes, share it. Spread the word and more will come under the Chantry's power. Is this not what you want?
I will spread this good news or die trying.
If something bad comes of this, it's your fault.
I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me. I am not a rich man, but I have a small collection of interesting artifacts, and I do owe you a reward for coming to my rescue. I hope to see you soon, my friend.
I've neglected to tell him there's a big fucking dragon up there, but I'll do that next time. I think I will kill it in this playthrough anyway, so it's not going to be a big deal.
The Blight. How will you end it?
We have to fight the Archdemon.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order.
Wait, you doubt I'm really a warden?
Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed.
Well, I'm not here to impress you.
Evidently not. It remains only to see what you are here for.
Oh, you like me doing that? Right. That's the end of this session. So next time we'll actually be doing Soldier's Peak. Actually, no, we'll be healing the urn, the urn, healing the Arl, and then we'll be doing Soldier's Peak, because once we've got the Arl, we've got the human armies on side. Once we've got the human armies on side, we're going to need a place to put them. So, I'll speak to you in a little bit.